good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live show of Legend from the Past and the Future. I am Armand, and we have Miss Ayana Moo Young tonight. Ayana, how you doing tonight?
I am doing great, Armand. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. No complaints at all, man. How was your weekend?
Oh, weekend was good. Somebody had a big birthday bash. I wonder who that
Yeah, who
was.
was that? Yeah, do tell, please. We had a nice time. We had a nice time. It was a good showing. I'm glad you came out and everyone else came out to celebrate. It wasn't a good time. We had just funeralized my uncle the day before, but
Yeah,
you celebrate, right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
But I tell you one good news, Ayana.
What's
You know,
that?
we are now award winners of the YouTube Silver Creator Award for having 100,000 followers. Isn't that
You
awesome?
know, it's amazing because I remember at the end of last year, I was bragging that we had made 1,600 subscribers. And people probably looked at it like 1,600 subscribers. But the thing is that you just stay the course and you stay consistent. And look at us. We're now over 100,000 subscribers. So I am proud
Ab-
of all the work that we've
Absolutely.
done. And I'm just looking forward
Yes.
to what's next.
Yes. Yes. Well, we have a guest tonight, Ayana.
Yes, we
She
do.
is she's an Annapolis legend, basketball player, and humble, man. She's so humble. You know, maybe we should bring her on. You think we should bring her on?
I think we should bring her on up.
Let's do that. Coming to the stage is Hobsy Johnson Hudson. There she is, Hobsy. How you doing, Hobsy?
Good
Welcome.
evening, everyone. Peace, love, and light.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes. It's an honor to have you. You have a great story. There's so much history with you and your family background. It's an honor to have you on the
Yes.
show.
It's an honor to be here,
What we do
Amon.
first here, thank you, thank you. Well, what we do first here on the Legend Show, we travel back in time. Okay, so we go back in time, then come forward. So tell everybody where you were born and raised.
Well, I was born at, excuse me, the Annapolis General Hospital that was in in Midtown. Well, I guess that's still in town on Franklin and Cathedral Street. And then I was taken home to Eastport First Street in Eastport. And then when I was 5, we moved to Bestgate and Lincoln Heights.
So what are some of the things that you done while growing up?
Everything. I was real competitive,
Okay.
so I played a lot. You know, back in the day, kids went outside, so we played outside, touch football, eat the peg, marbles,
You play you
soft.
play football?
Yeah, touch football. Our whole neighborhood played. We played in the street out there in Lincoln Heights, and our goalposts were the lampposts. So we played
Yeah, yeah.
lamppost to lamppost. So it was real fun. All the boys and girls played together. I mean, that's how it was back in the day. And I played
Yeah.
softball, baseball, kickball, dodgeball, just all the balls I played coming up. You know, spent a lot of time in town too because my my both of my grandmother's mother lived in the Fort Ford, in Oberry Court and Couch Creek Terrace, and my mother's best friends did too. So I spent a lot of time in town.
Awesome. Now tell us which schools you attended and who were some of your biggest mentors.
I attended Germantown School. That's where I started first grade and second grade. And then they redistricted, so I went to Western Annapolis Elementary in third and fourth grade, and then back to Germantown in fifth and sixth grade. And I have a lot of mentors. My mother is one, her sister is another, and her mother, my grandmother, was at home. And at church was Miss Cecilia B. Green at Mount Moriah, and because that's the church I grew up in. But I had family members that went to Asbury and First Baptist, so I frequented those two. So there it was Miss Josephine Young, and at First Baptist, Miss Mary Campbell Brown, I think her name was. In school, it was Miss Hannah Finney, Mr. Lois Chambers, Mr. George Trotter, Miss Donzella Parker Burt, and Miss Alma Hilliard, I think was her name. And my music mentor, excuse me?
No, I said, wow. I mean, you had a lot of positive influences in your life.
Yeah, I have. In my whole life, I've had positive influences. And let's see, in music, it was, excuse me, and Miss Joyce McManus, Miss Wycherly, Lorraine Wycherly, she was a music teacher in my elementary school. Jackie Evans, Miss Jackie Evans. And there's one more, my grandmother and my aunt, they were like mentors too because they could sing. So I learned a lot from them. And in sports, it was my brother Norman, Miss Fran Thomas, Hilton Maynard Sr., and Miss Betty J. Hallmark. So I had a lot. I don't know if I forgot anybody, but it was a lot going on.
That's truly amazing that you had such a large support system.
Yes.
So you had spoken to us about the different sports that you played just in the neighborhood. At what age did you start playing organized ball, and what was your first sport?
The first sport I played organized was basketball, of course. And I probably was around maybe 13 or 14. I played for Hilton Maynard. And then, once I started going to high school, I tried out for the high school team. And I made that. And I used to play for both at first, but then they brought a rule in where you couldn't play outside of the high school, so I had to just stick with that until I graduated.
Okay, now I'm going to pass it to Amon so he can take us a little further.
Okay.
So, Hobsy, legend, I want you to be careful how you answer this question now, okay? Because I'll put house rules on you now, okay?
Okay.
You received your talent because you from Spa Road, correct?
Yeah, I had Spa Road connections. My siblings grew up in Spa Road.
I like the way you smooth that out, okay?
I think you have talent because she was on Spa Road.
Uh-oh. Hey,
she was a trailblazer.
Legend.
Yeah.
Take it easy now. Hey, so you have a sports family. You had mentioned that sports is in your DNA, right? So
Yes,
your
it
father
definitely
coached.
is.
What did your father coach?
My father
What did your
coached.
father coach?
He coached the famous Annapolis Flames basketball team back in the day. I think I sent you a picture, but
You did. You did.
yeah, yeah. So a whole lot of people were on his team, like Mr. John Makel, Mr. Ralph Herndon,
Wow.
uh,
Yes.
Pip Moyer, Dick Callahan. All of them played for my dad.
It-
Mr. Elton
now
Snowden,
you
he played for him too.
wow. Man, well, that's going to be another show. That's going to be a historical show right there, and maybe we can get you and your brother Norman on the show at the same time and talk about it. But
Oh, that would
you
be
also
nice.
played for Hilton Maynard.
I did. I
You played for
played for
Hilton Maynard, right?
Hilton. Yeah, Hilton Maynard was like a father figure to me once my dad died, because my dad died when I was 15. So he never got a chance to see me play basketball, and that's one thing that I really, really regret. But I played for, I call Hilton Dad, I call him Dad, but I played for him for a few years, actually. And I played softball for him, too, because he had a softball team also. So I played softball, too. I used to
Okay, yeah, that's that.
pitch, play
So that's
first
like
base, shortstop, and I was a catcher,
okay.
too, sometimes.
Wow, wow. Now, one of our viewers, Orlando Makewood, he said that his father, Cuz, played for your father also. You know Cuz,
He
right?
probably did. Yeah, yeah. I sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Lodi.
Well,
A
let me
lot of
before we
people.
go to the next
I
question.
know everybody.
Well, first of all, let's welcome Blackie Queen to the show. Welcome to the show, Blackie Queen, and Lodi. Welcome to the show, Margaret Nick. Welcome to the show, my wife Andrea. Welcome to the show, Rendelia. That's our number one stunner. Welcome to the show, and Donald Gray. Welcome to the show.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
Down the
So
Swan.
when did
I think you missed somebody at the top, Angela Raspberry Dupree.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. Welcome to the show, Angela. Now, when did you find out that you had other brothers and sisters?
Well, I had three siblings I always knew about because my mother had a son who's 25 years older than I was. And my father had a daughter that was 20 years older than I was. And my mother had a daughter that died when she was 5, but she would have been 20 years older than I am too. But my father had 6 kids out out of his marriage to my mom. And I found out about them when I was in 5th grade because they end up having to go to Germantown where I already was. They came from parole school, I think. And a friend of mine, well, one of my classmates, she came to school one day. She said, "You know this girl named Carlene Johnson?" And I was like, "No, I don't know her." She said, "You look like her." I said, "Okay," and I went on home. So the next day when I came back, she said, "My mother said Carlene's your sister." I said, "Oh, really?" So I couldn't wait to get home to ask my mom. So when I got home, I said, "Mom, do I have a sister named Colleen?" She was like, "Ask your father when he comes home." So when he came home, And I asked him, I knew it was something because my mother didn't say no, you know what I mean? So I knew that it had to be something for her not to say no. So when he came home, he said, yes, he was going to tell me when I turned 13. I was like, well, why wait till I'm 13? You know, it's something I should have known. I could end up dating my brother or something, you know? It's crazy, but
Yeah.
I love them and they love me, and my mother loved them and accepted them as her own, and their mother did the same with me. So like one big happy family, you know. I always called Dana my
So now
brother.
before I pass it,
I'm sorry, it's like one girl and like 5 boys that their mother had, you know. And they always say my brother Dana and I look alike.
yeah.
They call us twins, twins from different moms.
Oh, you talking about Ferg? You talking
Yeah,
about
Ferg.
Ferg?
Yeah,
You talking about
Ferg.
Ferg?
Yeah, yeah, that's my man, Ferg.
You do look alike.
You think so? A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love them to death.
So before I pass it back to Ayana, Hobsy, one of your teammates, Denise Johnson, she said, welcome to the show, Denise. She said that she played ball with you.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, we played for Maynard. She's older than I am, but I came on as a younger player when all of them, you know, were seasoned. Matter of fact, when I started playing with them, I probably got in the game the last 2 minutes of every fourth quarter. But I promised myself that the next year I would be a starter, and I did. You know, I just practiced all the time, honed my skills, and I ended up being a starter that next year. And all of them got old anyway, but they didn't even want to play anymore. A lot of those girls, you know, rest in peace. Some of them are dead now, but you know, they were pretty good. Maynard had a great team. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to welcome Renee Turner to the show. Welcome to the show, home girl. On you, Ayana.
RT.
So tell us about your most memorable game.
My most memorable game?
Yes.
Playing for Maynard or high school or college?
Let's go with high school.
Okay. Probably beating Southern High. You know, because we were rivals. Southern High School and Annapolis have always been rivals. So when I played, we beat them. And there was a girl that played for them named Gloria Salisbury. She was pretty good, always made a lot of points. But I remember one particular game, they had me, we were playing a game where we played defense where they had the box, like 4 in the box, and just played one-on-one with her. So they put me on her. So I defended her that whole game, and she only got 2 points.
Wow.
So that was the most memorable for me, you know.
Absolutely. And so after high school, where did you attend college?
I got accepted to Norfolk State College and went down there and stayed for a week for freshman orientation. I was homesick because it was my first time really being away from home. I never liked being away from home. Even when I was a kid, I could go like with my grandmother or aunt to Baltimore or somewhere, and I would cry to come home. As soon as it got dark, I was ready to go home to my parents. So when I got down there in Norfolk, I cried like a baby, wanted to come home. So I just came home, went to community college, and played ball there too.
Okay, back to your mom.
Okay, so now you spent time in the United States Army, correct?
I did a little bit of time. I enlisted in 1977 and went to basic training in Fort McClellan, Alabama. And I got down there in that environment and got sick as a dog. I think I got sick because I had asthma, but my recruiter was saying, well, you ain't got to put that down, you know. But it was like, I didn't have a problem here, but when I got down to Alabama, the environment was not healthy. And then we just, when we went to the range, I never got a chance to even shoot my weapon because when it was my turn to get up there, it started pouring down rain. So they had us go sit in the woods on these bleachers for like 2 hours in the rain. So I got sick that night and asthma kicked in, man. It was crazy. So when I started having the problems with asthma and stuff like that, you know, I could have stayed in, you know, but I would have lost my MOS and it had to be recycled through basic, and it would have taken 6 months to a year. So I was like, nah, I ain't got that kind of time. Just send me home, you know. In hindsight, I probably should have stayed in and collected the money. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to come back home. It's crazy. I've had some tough breaks here and there, especially with, you know, being sick at certain times, you know.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Well, you know, somebody gave you a shout out. I guess this is your son. He calls himself your godfather. I think we lost her.
It looks like we lost her for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm waiting on her to come back. Let me just say, are you going to give her a call?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So next week, Thursday, Lima Twist, we are hosting another business network dine and party event. It's going to be at Lima Twist, DC. That's 1411 K Street Northwest. And not only will we be celebrating businesses that day, we will also be celebrating my birthday. My birthday is the 16th, but the event is on the 14th. That's a Thursday. So if you can make it out to DC, I promise you, we always have a great time. Come and promote yourself, promote your business, and make some outstanding connections. Hopefully, I guess we'll be back on soon.
Okay, she's coming back in, so we're gonna wait for her to get back in. Also, not only Lima Twist, our guest for next week will be someone who everyone should know that we're gonna start another show, 2 other shows. We're gonna start a sports, politics, and a current event show. And the guy that we're gonna have next week, Marcel Colbert, is going to be our guest on the show. He's going to be one of the guys hosting it. She's back. Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened.
Well, you know that happens. But I was telling you, there's a guy. He calls himself your godfather. He said, "Love you, Ma." He's on YouTube. That's his YouTube name. So you may not be. He doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure since you said that, we'll see something in the chat in a few minutes. Also, Kim Jones, welcome to the show. You may have, I think I saw you beat Kim one-on-one down Bates one day.
You might have. It's very possible.
Hey,
that's my classmate, Kim.
That's your classmate. He does have a question for you.
Okay.
What was your greatest high school game?
I gotta think about that one. I think she asked me that, didn't you?
I did, yeah. She answered that already.
Yeah, playing Southern High School. That's what that was. Yeah.
Okay.
And somebody else said, let her tell you about her beautiful clothes in school.
My
What?
clothes?
Yeah, Pamela
Oh,
Williams said, let her tell you about her beautiful clothes in school.
yeah. When I was in ninth grade, I got best dressed. You know, that was all my mom. That was all my mom. She kept me looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. 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 Well, legend. We had talked prior to the show beginning about
Right.
possibly writing your book, right? So
Yeah.
you have a story to tell.
I
Um,
do.
you want to talk a little bit about what you're experiencing medically? Is that okay to talk about that?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Um, about 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with blindness in my left eye. So that's why I'm having a hard time seeing now. And I got diagnosed with sarcoidosis, multiple sclerosis, and then recently I've been diagnosed with a blood cancer that's called polycythemia vera and an abnormal heartbeat. So I've had
Wow.
my share of problems. At one point, I was in a wheelchair, couldn't walk, couldn't talk, but I was determined to get up out of that, and
Yeah.
all praises to the Most High, that happened. But some other things happened, like in the last couple of years too. I was if it wasn't for my wife, I probably wouldn't be here talking about it. And she took me to the Baltimore Washington Medical Center emergency room. And what happened was I couldn't lay down. Every time I would try to lay down, I had such pain in my left side. So after a couple of days, she said, "You get out of here." So she took me to the ER, and after they did some tests and stuff, they found out that I had like about 4 cups of fluid in the pericardial sac around my heart. So they drained that.
Mm.
And then the next day when they did another I think MRI or whatever, they saw that I still had some. So then they sent me down to Virginia Hospital Center in Arlington, and they did a pericardial window. So I was down there for about 8 days. So that was like a very, very scary time. So I've had my share of things happening, through the years. And now, I mean, I got
Yeah.
names for a lot of stuff because I think a lot of stuff started when I lived in Georgia, because I lived in Georgia for 10 years. And, I would get sick and things would happen to my body and stuff like that. But I never knew, what it was. I might go to the emergency room. They couldn't tell me. But once I came home and started going to Kaiser Permanente, they finally figured out what was going on with me, and gave me a name for a lot of stuff that's happening, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not just your ability to perform sports wise on that court. You have a story that you can share. You're doing it tonight, but it'd be nice to read about it. And we have someone that could possibly help you with that book. You know, if you ever think about writing a book, and she's right there looking at you, Yana Moo Young. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
and yes,
Yeah, that
yes,
sounds great.
yes. So
I've been told a lot of times that I should write a book. A lot of people have told me that. I've written stories and stuff like that during school years and stuff like that. But I would be interested, I think, in maybe writing a book or
amen,
having
amen. Now
a
before,
Yana write it for me.
hey,
Yep, we
hey,
do
well, look,
provide all
before I
those
give it back
services,
to
so we
Yana,
definitely talk.
What'd you say?
I said we do provide all of those services, so we can definitely talk.
Okay. All right. That's bet.
So now, before I give it back to Yana, I want to welcome Tanya Tenacious Cooper Johnson to the show. Faye Gasson, yep, only God, you got that right.
Yes, only go.
Silk, Simplify, my brother, always faithful. Welcome to the show. On you, Ayana.
So once you came out of high school and went to college and came back for community college, what was your next step in the journey? Like, what industry did you enter in the workforce?
I've had a plethora of jobs, man. I've had so many jobs because I just couldn't really see myself, I guess, working somewhere for 40 years or so. So I've been, man, everything you can name. I've tried it, you know, starting when I've worked since I was like, I think 14 or 15. I had to get a work permit. So I worked for the city playgrounds of Annapolis. I think I even had Roger's sisters on my playground at Germantown school in the summertime. And I've done man, I can't even think. It's been so many things. Correctional officer, I've been a cashier, a cook, carpenter's helper, electrician's assistant, substitute teacher. I mean, it's just, I could just probably sit here all night and name stuff, you know. But I'm versatile and I like variety, so I think that's the road I took, you know, doing stuff, you know.
So which position was your favorite?
Probably substitute teaching.
Okay, what did you like about it so much?
I just like interacting with the kids and teaching them. I have to tell you a funny story because when I did that, I was living in Georgia, and this little boy said, "Miss Hudson, you do math like my grandfather," because you know they confuse the kids by teaching them all this long math when you could just do something simple and get an answer. You know what I mean? So I did it the old way that I was taught, and it was funny when he said that. You know, you do math like my grandfather. It was crazy. Yeah, but I enjoy doing that. You know.
Yeah, that sounds very rewarding. I'm gonna pass it back to our mom.
So you know, one thing I did not hear, that you were willing to be a coach. At any time did you consider being a coach? Because there's a lot of talent and a plethora of knowledge, X's and O's upstairs. Did you ever think about coaching?
I was offered a coaching job back in the day by Miss Fran Thomas at Bates, but I turned it down. Looking back, I probably shouldn't. But then then they took sports out of the junior high school, so I guess it wouldn't have lasted anyway. And the closest I've come to coaching is probably giving my grandkids pointers or, you know, shooting around with them and dribbling or whatever, you know. But I would love to coach if I had the opportunity to now, you know. I really would. But I don't know. Yeah, Norman used to have a basketball camp and stuff like that, so I would go there sometime and help out and take my granddaughters and stuff there. And it's like a lot like my son coaches, you know. He coaches little league Brooklyn Park, little league football and basketball, and he helps his friend Rico Queen. They coach at St. Mary's High School.
Wow. What I'm not sure if you're
Yeah.
familiar with these two players, but there's a question your classmate Kim Jones. How do you think the girl game has
Uh-huh.
evolved since you played? And then he named two. This is a two-part question. All right, there's two players, Tammy Brown and Missy Quill.
I
All
know
right, do
Tammy. I know
you know them?
I know both of
Okay.
them.
So his question was,
Yeah.
in your prime, do you think you could beat them one-on-one? But you can answer the first question first. How do you think the girl game has evolved since you played?
Well, I think it has evolved a lot because when I was playing ball, they weren't giving away scholarships, and there was no women's NBA. So that's a progressive thing anyway. Now that's progression right there. And as far as Tammy and Missy,
Yeah.
they were good. They were good. My brother used to have a store like where Mama Sons was in town, and Tammy would come in there as a little girl, always had a basketball in her hand. I swear, she reminded me so much of myself because I used to always have a basketball in my hand. But
Mm-hmm.
they were great players, and I don't know. I think a lot of the girls have good skills, the younger ones, but you got to have this too. Not saying that they don't, but I think a lot of times the head may outweigh the skills sometimes. Because I learned that when I still was playing ball, we had younger people that played with us, and they wouldn't think, it's like you have to think when you play sports, because it's strategy. It's strategy. So you gotta, be mindful of stuff, you know. And
So now, legend.
as far
Now,
as me
now, legend.
playing, what?
Oh, you getting ready to answer it now? Go ahead. Let me hear it.
Yeah, I think I probably would give them a good run for their money. They're a lot taller than I am, though. I'm a little shorty, and I always have been. But my game
So
was
you
good.
getting ready?
But
You getting ready?
what'd you say?
So you about to answer the question now. So let, in your prime, could you have beaten Tammy or Missy?
Probably,
That's the legend.
probably, probably. uh,
hey, 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 go ahead, Yada.
So, what are some of the things that you're working on at this moment?
trying to stay well. Basically, I don't do anything. I live a real quiet life. Actually, um, I don't even drive anymore because I'm blind in my left eye. So that took a lot of my freedom away. Being able to just hop in the car and go somewhere. I gotta wait for somebody to take me or call a cab or Uber or Lyft. They have now, and maybe hop on a bus or something. So that's what has kept me from doing a lot of things. And from day to day, I don't know, how I might feel because I do have good days and sometimes I have bad days. But I just keep going, you know. But I don't really do too much of anything. Just
Well,
run my
Tanya
mouth.
for Johnson, she said that Annapolis Middle School needs your assistance. Which is that something that you would consider going and helping out at school?
Yeah, I would.
All right, Tanya, you heard her, so you go ahead and hook her up.
Yeah, what do they need help doing?
I don't know. But
Um,
hopefully she can reach out to you and give you more information.
yeah, she can. Yeah.
Back on you, Amon. Oh,
He
Amon is
disappeared.
catching. And so, students that are looking to get involved in sports, what is some advice that you could offer them?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
Students that are getting involved in sports, what is some advice that you could offer them?
Practice, practice, practice. You know, you have to work on your skills all the time. I mean, because it's so much like that you have to do, you know, like playing ball is there's dribbling, shooting, defense, you know, passing and all of those things. So just, you know, just get better at what you do, you know, and always have a good attitude, because it's one thing to play ball, but if you have a bad attitude, then, you know, it's rotten, because you'll get a tech called on you. You know, I had some good players that played with me, but they were always getting kicked out of the game because of their attitudes, you know. So you have to have good sportsmanship, you know.
No, that's very sound advice. I heard you say earlier that, you know, they're basically, I'm gonna say it in my words. You
Okay.
see these people, some of these players that people are hyping up are really not that good because they don't have the basketball IQ. What how do you develop basketball IQ? What is some advice you can give to the students regarding that?
Um, I think just take the time and learn the game, you know, and just be mindful of what you're doing, you know, because, you know, a lot of people when they play ball, they might throw the ball away, you know, or double dribble or travel. You know, you just got to be mindful of the things that make you lose the ball, you know.
Absolutely. Amon, back to you.
So you know we're gonna get ready to wind this down, but before we do so, Gerald Herndon and Londell Owens, those two are in agreement that Annette Rowe could take you out.
Oh, and that was a beast. She could play very, very good. We all played together, you know. I used to go out Newtown 19. We'd be out there playing the boys on the court, you know. She was nothing but the truth. Yeah. And Bernadette Van also. You know, it was a whole lot of good basketball players in Annapolis, for real, for real.
Yeah, Bernadette was really good.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. She was. Yeah.
Yeah. So now what we're gonna do? We're gonna give you a chance to close us out in a few minutes, okay? But before we do so, is Deja left? Okay. Before you do so, we're gonna let Ayana say something either positive or negative towards you, okay? All right.
Okay. All right.
Positive or negative? Nothing but positive. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This has been a really good show. Thank you for all your contributions to your community and for sharing your knowledge and your expertise with our viewing audience today.
Well, you're very welcome, and I thank you also for having me on. It's been an honor, for real, because I feel like I'm among royalty, Annapolis royalty, because most of the people you've had on your show, you interviewed, I have a personal connection to. And they have all done great things and achieved and accomplished more than I ever will aspire to. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So Legend, I gotta say this, and then you can close it out with something encouraging, okay? Something that you
Okay.
would recommend to aspiring basketball players or whatever. But I echo what Ayana said. You have been an inspiration to the community. You have, not just by your talent, because you walk it like you talk it. You have always done that. And I used to watch you perform. You were just amazing talent. I want to
Thank
thank you
you.
for
Thank you.
coming on the show. I want to thank you for your legendary skill, your humbleness. I want to thank you for being who you are.
Thank
You
you.
know,
Thank you. I appreciate
and
that.
everybody that's watching the show, just say thank you for being on the show tonight in the chat box. Tell Hobsy thank you. And while you doing that, come back next week and watch another exciting show. Hobsy, the floor is yours. What encouraging thing would you like to leave with people?
I just like to say a thank you to everyone, to you for providing me on your platform, and for everybody that's watching. But what I like to say is always put God first. And let's see. Never look down upon a person unless you're helping them get up. And always remember, winners never quit and quitters never win.
Nothing else need to be said. See you next Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Peace.
Good night, y'all. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.